Greetings all, Devious Monkey here. I don't have the screen flipped up, but I already know that this is ridiculous. Today, I am going to show you the wonders of the Sony 35 1.8 full frame lens on the a6600. Let me turn it. Jesus, there's a lot of lint on there, sorry. Story of my life. Anyways, I'm gonna show you how this lens works, this full frame lens works on the a6600. Now, obviously, I have this in my right hand. My arm is locked out as far as it can go, my shoulder's screaming. But if I do it with my left hand, it'll be pointing straight into the sun. Anywho, the point of this is that somebody asked me about which lens I think is the most cinematic. My reply was that I don't think that it's necessarily that the lens is cinematic so much as your settings that give you a cinematic look. Now, we all know that this ain't high cinema here on the Devious Monkeys channel. This is shitty vlog footage. From time to time, I try to be a little bit more artistic, but my amateurism shines through. For now. Okay, all that being said, I did recommend that perhaps they get this 35mm lens because, one, it's a wonderful lens. It's fantastic on my a7 III for still shots, but I did want to show you what it looks like as far as, well, as vlogging goes, so that you can see how ridiculous it is, that, and so that you know right at the bat you cannot vlog with this lens unless you want to do a partial head video. I have it set to f1.8. It's as open, as wide as this lens will go. The ISO is at 100, which is the low limit that I've got. You all know I have my ISOs set from 100 to 6400. No higher, don't need to go any lower. I think it can only go to ISO 50 anyway, so it's at 100. There's no exposure compensation, aperture priority, and it, at this point right now, is shooting at 1/1250th. Earlier today, it was at like 1/4000th. And I switched through all the modes to try to find which one I could use that didn't have everything blown out. And this is the best way I could come up with it. So, not sticking to the old 180-degree rule, you know, because then I would be at 1/50th, like I always am, because I'm shooting in 24p, but you get the idea. Everything looks really good though. I mean, God, it's so sharp and beautiful. I do have it set, like I said, to f1.8, and earlier I was walking around down in the Vibe district before it started torrentially downpouring, and I was shooting through a bunch of bushes and all that kind of stuff to show you how laser focused how laser focused the focus is, and how it blurs everything out except for a very small area. Now, a lot of times you're not going to shoot in 1.8. In fact, most of the times you're not, because there's going to only be a really tiny part of your frame in focus. I mean, there's a time and a place for a lens like this. Now, this is great if you're literally going out there and you're trying to capture normal footagey type stuff. I think this would be a fantastic filming lens, to be perfectly honest, just not for vlogging. And since all I do is vlog, that's what you get. It would not be the lens that I would put on this camera to do what I'm doing now, which is going on my evening walk and vlogging. But this way you don't have to look at me the whole time. You get to look at the walk. Right now, it's at 1/1000th, f1.8, ISO 100. Shooting on HD, 1080, 24 frames a second. It is on the Crane M2, obviously, because there's no way I could hold it this steady. We all know how disgusting it looks with normal IBIS and OSS. And not to mention, this does not have OSS. Okay, so now here you see this person has the 7 dwarves all on their own little log here in their front yard. Now, we're gonna go with happy. So here I am standing. I'm getting dive bombed by bugs. Okay, so I'm literally standing right here at the curb. Now I'm gonna pan up. And there we are, there's Happy. I'd say he's maybe 10 feet away. So as I walk into this and take a look at how it's all blurred in the background, and I'll kind of cut over here, and how razor sharp the focus is, okay? So I'm now, I don't know, 2 feet, 3 feet away from him, and I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna show you. All right, there, I'm now touching him. The camera is about halfway between me and the statue, and that's what's in frame. That's how close you are. And this thing's probably not even a foot tall. So, but look at the blur. Look at that bokeh, right? So now you get to see exactly what you're in store for if you were to use this lens and you're filming. Since this is an APS-C camera, we know that it has a 1.5 crop, which means that this 35mm lens is, I think it came up to like 56, 57 millimeters. You know me in math. It's almost one of those standard lengths. It becomes the standard length of not quite the nifty 50, but a little bit over it. So it's not too bad, but you just have to be consciously aware of the fact that you have to be far away from your subject. As you can see with the f1.8, I mean, you can get some amazing separation between subject and background. And I think that this f1.8 back there with Happy the dwarf, it shows you just how blurred the background was and how much separation there was between Happy and the house and the woods that were behind him. And those were pretty far off too. So once again, this was just a test to show you how a Sony 35mm f1.8 full frame lens works on the Sony a6600, which is an APS-C 1.5 crop sensor camera. I've stayed in aperture priority mode. F-stop's been f1.8 the whole time. It stayed at ISO 100 just because of how bright it is. And the shutter speed has gone from 1/200th today all the way up as high as 1/4000th. And that's how it works. That's what it looks like. This is what you get. Well, I hope you learned something. That's all I've got for you today. Thank you for joining me as always. Like, subscribe, and all that shit. And remember, kids, forward and up. See, you can't even see my thumb.